This is Breeze TV.
Welcome to Breeze TV Sportswrap. I'm Kevin Romm. As it is nearly every year, the Super Bowl was nothing short of spectacular last Sunday. Breeze TV's Sammy Seaton has more on the game and on the team who came out on top.
Super Bowl 52 was a matchup of the five-time champions, the New England Patriots, against the Philadelphia Eagles, a team that has never won the Lombardi Trophy.
Flares out to the right.
For a team that faced adversity all season, the Eagles became world champions and were led by backup quarterback Nick Foles after Carson Wentz tore his ACL in Week 13.
A lot of people, a lot like this football team, a lot of people counted him out and didn't think he could get it done. And you know, I believed in him, the staff believed in him, the players believed in him. You know, this whole postseason, Nick has shown exactly who he is and what he can do and what he's capable of doing. He's well deserved of the honor. But
even though Foles saved the Eagles' season on the field, he's not taking all the credit.
The big thing that helped me was knowing that I didn't have to be Superman. I have amazing teammates, amazing coaches around me. And all I had to do was just go play as hard as I could and play for one another, play for those guys.
Foles had 373 yards of offense, throwing 3 touchdowns and scoring 1 himself. The player who was once doubted was named MVP and brought home the trophy for the first time to Philadelphia. Reporting for Breeze TV, I'm Sammy Seaton.
Thanks, Sammy, and congrats to the 2 former Dukes on that Eagles roster, wide receiver Rashard Davis and quarterback coach John DeFilippo. It was actually DeFilippo's last game with Philadelphia, as yesterday he was named the new offensive coordinator for the Minnesota Vikings. This past Wednesday, it was National Signing Day for JMU football. Head coach Mike Houston has spent the last month finalizing the next group of Dukes eager to chase an FCS championship. The new breed is mostly Virginia natives, which Houston thinks will help refuel some in-state rivalries.
I think the kids have a lot of pride about where they're from. I think they have a lot of pride about the state of Virginia. For our program, we talk about winning the state of Virginia because you do have in-state rivalries that are, some of the top schools in our league and regionally, and that creates some stuff between the players in our roster that know players on their rosters and that kind of stuff. So I think that, having 9 signees from the state is probably going to increase some of the intensity of the rivalry with the in-state schools.
Some of those signees even turned down offers from ACC schools, Houston said, proving JMU isn't just attracting FBS caliber talent, but competing for it.
We want to be competing against those level of schools for our players. I think JMU is a place that can attract the very best talent that there is in the state of Virginia and regionally. And so if we're not competing against schools like that for our players, then we're not going after the right players.
The complete class totals 16, and most will make their debut April 14th at the spring game. JMU softball is in Mexico this week, and no, it's not because they're on vacation. Instead, it's all business in Puerto Vallarta. The Duke's first 5 games will take place south of the border. As you remember, JMU won its first 12 games, 11 of its first 12 games last season, finishing 18-2 in the CAA en route to a conference championship. However, they will be without National Player of the Year Megan Good for the entire season, so it will be a tough task repeating as conference champions. And although the JMU men's basketball team is sitting out this week due to the mumps, the women's team hasn't missed a beat. Still perfect 10-0 in conference play. They were in North Carolina this last Sunday, taking on Elon. It didn't start off very well for the Dukes, as the Phoenix outscored the Dukes by 10 after the first quarter, and the Dukes spent the rest of the game playing catch-up. Kelly Kashuta and Kamaya Smalls were the only 2 Dukes who finished in double figures. Kamaya Smalls, 2 of her 15 actually came from an alley-oop. As a team, JMU shot just over 21% from the field, and Elon took advantage. They hand the Dukes their first conference loss of the season, 50-43.
Back quick enough. Now, we eventually, I thought, fought back and had a chance to win the game, but it took us longer than I wanted to, and you put yourself in a huge hole. I just think statistically you're not going to win too many games going down 16 points in the first quarter. It's just other than miraculous, you're just not going to win too many games like that.
The Dukes are now tied for first in the Colonial, as Drexel has won its last 8 conference games. So JMU doesn't have much more room for error this late in the season. You can catch them tonight, however, at 7 in the Convo as Northeastern visits the Friendly City. Well, the Cleveland Cavaliers shocked the basketball universe yesterday. The NBA trade deadline closed at 3 p.m., and the Cavs were making moves up until the last minute. Not often do you see a team reshape their entire roster less than 2 months before the playoffs start. But here you see those leaving Cleveland. First, Isaiah Thomas, who will now head to the Los Angeles Lakers. They acquired him last season in exchange for sending Kyrie Irving to the Celtics. Dwayne Wade, a sure future Hall of Famer and LeBron James' best friend, also being shipped back to Miami. 2 role players in Channing Frye and Jay Crowder were also dealt away. And finally, they sent a former league MVP in Derrick Rose to the Utah Jazz. In return, Cleveland gets a lot younger, adding Jordan Clarkson and a bouncy Larry Nance Jr. from the Lakers. From the Jazz, the Cavs get Rodney Hood and George Hill. So a lot of big changes in what could be LeBron James' last season in Cleveland. The new look Cavs' first test is tonight as they head to Atlanta to take on a Hawks team dead last in the Eastern Conference. That's it for sports this week.